Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of the John DeVito Show. It is Wednesday, so that's right, it's hump day, and today we're talking baseball. Now, for all of you that follow my podcast and listen to my lives and have listened to, I think, roughly the 250 episodes I've published, you know the DeVito family loves baseball, right? My father was an excellent baseball player. He's in the Hall of Fame for his high school. I played baseball. I was a solid baseball player. I chose football, played that in college, but baseball has always been my number one love. Now, in the DeVito family, we have 4 kids, and my oldest son, he didn't really love playing baseball. He enjoys watching baseball. My daughter, very good softball player. And then my 2 youngest sons, Ethan and Brandon, both play baseball for an AAU team that's located about a mile from the new Polar Park in Worcester. They play for the strike zone. They're both catchers. And fortunately for them, they're both trained by Red Sox legend Rich Gedman, who was a boyhood idol of mine because I was a catcher, a left-handed hitting catcher. And Rich Gedman played for the Red Sox, and he was an amazing baseball player, great catcher, a role model for me. And it's awesome for me to get to see my 2 sons training with a guy who was a legend to me as a child. And it was kind of funny when I first met Rich Gedman at the strike zone. He's one of the coaches of the AAA Red Sox, the Worcester Red Sox, that are now based at Polar Park in Worcester. And when I met him for the first time, I had my 2 boys bring baseballs for him to sign it. And of course, I had my baseball. So here's this 50-year-old man coming in with his baseball. I gave it to Coach Gedman, asked him for his autograph, and I told him point blank, I'm like, I'm not going to lie to you, Coach. This one's for me. This one's going right in my display case. I've always been a Rich Gedman fan, and it was very, very cool to get to meet him and watch my sons train with him. But anyway, the point of the show today, this is a special edition show where I wanted to give my review of the new Polar Park, which is located right off of Kelly Square in Worcester. Now, we live about 20 minutes away, so for us, it's an amazing opportunity for my family and for my kids to go see baseball, high-quality baseball, AAA quality minor league baseball, where a lot of these guys are going to be in the major leagues in a very short amount of time. So for me, the point of today's show is not really to rate the baseball team, but it's to rate the stadium for the people that are thinking of coming to this ballpark that haven't been yet. I've already been to 3 games, and you don't know really what to expect when coming into the ballpark. Now, for those who are familiar with Worcester, you're all familiar with Kelly Square. Kelly Square, without a doubt, was the most difficult intersection I have ever navigated in my life. Basically, 6 different roads feed into this one area, and you just basically have to go and hope for the best as you drive through Kelly Square. Fortunately, as this ballpark was approved, the city of Worcester redesigned Kelly Square. So it's a much, much easier route into the ballpark if you're coming off of the highway and taking that Kelly Square exit off of Route 290. Now, for me, I go back roads. So I'm, like I said, 2 towns away from Worcester. I take back roads in to the city, and I drive in kind of the back way, past where the strike zone is located, and I enter from that direction. For me so far, I have found it extremely easy to find parking. There are some free parking lots that you can hit. Apparently, there's a library that's relatively close to the ballpark that you can park at free of charge. And then leading up to the ballpark, coming in the direction I'd be coming from. Now, if you were coming from the highway, you'd have to go past the ballpark. But right near where Coney Island Hot Dogs is and Girton Graphics, there is a parking lot right there where they charge $15 to park. I've parked there all 3 times, and it's very easy in, very easy out. Nothing like going to a Red Sox game. You go to a Boston Red Sox game, it's $50-$60 to park. Here you're looking $15 max. Now, directly across from the stadium, they're actually working on completing a parking garage, which is not done yet. I have no idea what the prices are going to be there, but that will obviously, once that's done, provide ample parking for anybody that wants to come into the ballpark and go to the games. Okay, so my review on the park. I'm going to try to keep this short because I want to make this short so everybody can listen and get my feeling on what the ballpark is like, what the seats are like, and all of that good stuff. Now, if you're looking to get a seat in the park, like if you're shopping for seats, so far, we have sat up on the top deck. I think it's called the Hanover platform or the Hanover deck, where you're sitting in kind of, with tables and chairs. You get a great view of the ballpark from there. That's down the left field line. I've sat on the third base line and the first base line. We've yet to have seats behind home plate or up on the Blue Monster in right field. We just bought 2 more tickets or 2 more games where we're going to be sitting behind home plate and then up on the Blue Monster. But now for my ratings on the seats I've been in so far, down the third base line, amazing seats. I mean, just a beautiful view of the ballpark. I really believe there's no bad seat in this park. But third base line, the seats were amazing. The one negative to that seat, it's kind of hard to see the digital scoreboard in the left field. It's blocked a little bit from those third base line seats. So if you're big into watching that digital scoreboard, similar to what they have at Fenway Park in center field, you may want to sit behind home plate or on that first base line, because down the third base line, it's a little hard to see that, especially if you're a little bit further up. But other than that, amazing, amazing views, beautiful ballpark. The field itself is impeccable. The seats are amazing. The people working inside the stadium are kind. They're helpful. And, even though we still kind of have the mask mandate going, they gently urge people to pull the masks up. They're not in your face. They're not difficult. And if you're sitting down in your seats, I know this expires this weekend, but you are able to sit and eat and drink without your mask pulled up, and it's not really a big deal. So third base line, beautiful seats. First base line, more of the same. Where we sat on the first base line, we were up a little bit past the typical seats, and there was like a little table where they had stools set up, and that's where we sat on the third base line also. When we sat there, it was a little difficult to see the Blue Monster in right field, but you got a great view of the digital screen in left field and a view of the whole ballpark that was just amazing. Now, if you were sitting a little bit further down in either the third or the first base line, you'll have clear views of the digital screen of the Blue Monster and all the areas in the ballpark. Now, like I said, I haven't sat up on the Blue Monster in right field yet, but I do have a friend that I spoke to that has sat up there, and he said the views were amazing. So if you can get seats up on the Blue Monster in right field, because again, let's face it, the Green Monster is pretty darn expensive at Fenway Park if you want to sit up there. But I've heard the views from the right field monster seats are just amazing. So behind home plate, I haven't sat there, but I have walked down into that area before the game, and those seats are fantastic. You can see everything. The seats aren't terribly expensive. I think they range anywhere from like $9 for standing room only up to like $25. And then they've also got an area in right field where they've got where they're selling a bunch of different craft beers, and it looks like that's kind of the area where like the college kids hang out and stuff like that. And it looks like a really, really fun area of the ballpark. So far, I've got to tell you, Polar Park, I feel bad for the people in Pawtucket. I know that people are upset and sad that you lost your ballpark, and I don't mean to do this show to rub it in anybody's face, because I get that, and I do feel bad for the people of Pawtucket. But for the people in the Worcester area that love baseball, man, this is a dream come true. It's a beautiful ballpark. It looks awesome when you come up to the field. As you pull up, you go in, it's like easy entry. I've gone in all 3 times through the home plate entrance, that gate, and they've got beautiful like championship rings set outside the stadium. And then as you walk into the stadium, they've got a nice tribute to Ted Williams up in the stadium. I mean, as you're walking in, it honestly for a little bit feels like you're walking into a museum. It's that nice. Now, the one thing that I have seen, I haven't gone into yet, is the gift shop. When you go in through that home plate entrance, you see directly to the left, there is a gift shop there. And in the gift shop, It looks like it's really well stocked, but all 3 times we've been there, there's been a long line of people waiting to get into that gift shop. If you live locally, I would suggest going during the day. I drove by the stadium yesterday, and the gift shop looks like it's open during the day, and there was hardly anybody in there. There were a couple of stragglers shopping, so that might be a good time if you live locally to get into that gift shop. But so if you've been thinking about attending a game at Polar Park, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I give the stadium an A+ in every way. It's being run professionally. The staff is helpful. The ballpark is amazing. It's beautiful. And what's really nice, too, is the kids can get up close and personal with the ball players. Like my kids, my 2 youngest, who I said are, good ball players. They love baseball. They were, right up against the bullpen, watching the pitchers, throw 95 miles an hour and warm up. And then the catcher, Chris Herman of the Worcester Red Sox, threw a baseball up to my son. So we've been to 2 games, and each of my 2 younger boys both got baseballs at the games. And I can't tell you enough how cool it is. The stadium itself, like I said, as it gets dark, they've got kind of like these unique lights that I've never seen before. They may be common now, but I just haven't seen them. But every time a player hits a home run for the Red Sox, they do like a light show where they can flash the lights off and on and do like this really cool light show, which is just amazing and very cool. And your kids will think it's awesome, and you will as well. So very cool atmosphere. Regarding everything else, I mean, the food is, it's relatively expensive. The one thing I was a little disappointed in, and I'm sorry to the Red Sox if I throw this out here, but the most of the stands are not selling Coney Island hot dogs. Apparently, there is a kiosk up on the top floor. I don't know where that was. I couldn't find it. But if you're not from the area and you want an excellent hot dog, I recommend, and I'm sorry to the Red Sox, but I recommend you drive by the stadium if you get off at 290. Kelly Square, and if you park at that parking lot that's located right near Girton Graphics, you can literally walk through the alley, take a left turn, and you'll be at one of the best hot dog places in New England called Coney Island Hot Dogs. We went in there for the last game. I brought a bunch of kids with me, and I think we spent $26 maybe on like 12 hot dogs. You can get them like loaded with chili, with anything you want, and it's really a cool experience. Coney Island Hot Dogs has been there for over 100 years, and it's just kind of a cool area, near the ballpark. Now, if you're looking for, to have a few drinks before the game or after the game, the Kelly Square area, there's several places that have now opened up. And I wouldn't say it's gotten to the point where it's like a Kenmore Square yet, but Kelly Square is definitely turning into kind of like a more friendly area where you have some cool looking restaurants. You've got some breweries and things like that where you can sit down and have a few beers before the game. Now, if you're looking to drink in the stadium, the beers, typical stadium beer, you have, I think the low end beers range from like $8 up to the more, micro brewed style beers are up to $11. I know that there's an ad in center field for Wormtown Brewery. I assume that they serve that at the ballpark. And, all in all, I want to keep this relatively short. I'm at about 12 minutes now. I'm trying to think of whatever else I could offer you about the stadium. But one thing I did here, if you're looking to make reservations and buy tickets for the game, don't do it on your phone. Do it on the website. Apparently, on your phone, it's a little bit more difficult to book and buy tickets. And I'm sure tickets are going to be a lot more plentiful now that the state mandates on crowds and masks and things like that is about to expire this upcoming weekend. But I can't say it enough. The ballpark is easy to get to. For me, it's awesome. It's 20 minutes from our house. The baseball is amazing. I mean, you got guys throwing 95, 96, 97 miles an hour. We saw Jaron Durant hit a 470-foot home run over the Blue Monster and over the building behind the Blue Monster, which was amazing. And then still, you will have the occasional major league player that's rehabbing from an injury. Kike was just down with AAA, hit a 475-foot bomb under the concrete out in left center field. And it's just a great experience. So if you have a family, if you're looking to go to a ball game and you don't want to spend, $1,200 on 5 or 6 tickets and $60 on parking or whatever else, you can get in and out of this stadium with excellent seats for maybe $20 a seat. I mean, you can go standing room only and hope to find a seat also, which certainly is, a gamble, but could be a good gamble as the season goes on. But I would say spend the money on the seats, $20 for great seats. You can get out of this thing, definitely, even if you bring like a family of like 6 for like less than $200. And that's the price of like literally one ticket at Fenway Park. So for me, A+ in every aspect of the stadium. The stadium's beautiful. The experience is amazing. The views are incredible. The baseball is fantastic. The people that work in the park are amazing. Easy in and out with very little traffic into the stadium. Even though the parking garage isn't done, there's ample parking with parking garages right around the stadium where you have a relatively short walk down to the ballpark. So for me, if you're looking to go to Polo Park, get out there, do it. We've all been trapped inside with this pandemic, for the last, over a year now. It's time to get back to life and enjoy baseball. And man, the Woo Sox are looking good. Polo Park is amazing. And this is a great, great, great thing for the city of Worcester. Okay. So, hey, we love baseball in the DeVito family. Like I said, we're going to be at a lot of games. So hopefully maybe I'll run into some of you at the ballpark, but get out there, check out a game, enjoy it, feel safe about it. The area of Worcester is fine. I know some parts of Worcester aren't great, but Worcester has gone through a really nice revitalization over the last several years. And this area, with this ballpark going in here, has really turned into a beautiful area of the park. And you've got, Table Talk Pies right next door. Oh, that's one other thing also, really quickly. They do like a little game, I think maybe in like the third or fourth inning, where you can win Table Talk Pies if the person on the field catches one of the balls they blast up in the air. You have to grab a voucher on the way out of the stadium, then bring it over to Table Talk Pies to get your free pie. The first game, we kind of missed out on that. We were wondering why we didn't get our pie after the game. But you have to get a voucher, and you have 1 week after the game ends to actually turn that into Table Talk to get your free pie, which is kind of a cool, nice little touch. What else can I think of? Oh, 8th inning. Get ready for a little Neil Diamond. They play it just like Fenway Park, and it's awesome. So that's all I can think of. So listen, if you're thinking about it, get out there, check out the ballpark. It is amazing, and the DeVito family gives it an A+. So enjoy the ballpark, enjoy the game, and hey, there's nothing better than baseball. So get out there, enjoy it all, and hopefully in the future, feel free to turn into the John DeVito Show for other topics and things that I talk about very regularly. I broadcast live on Podbean, and you can find me on iHeartRadio, Spotify, basically everything, Pandora, all the different podcasting platforms. So take care, have a great day, and play ball.